So, quick question. Was Pinocchio kind of like those Elon Musk humanoids, only back in the old days and made of wood? I'm sorry, sometimes my brain goes to weird places and thoughts like that come into it. Pinocchio is the latest in the long string of Disney classic films remade into live-action form, and it's directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it stars Tom Hanks and Jason Gordon-Levitt, and this movie tells the same classic story. There's a man, he's an inventor, but he's always wanted a son, but never had one, so he decides to invent this wooden boy, which comes to life. He treats him as if it was his own son, but then adventure ensues, and a whole bunch of other things that happen. I have literally tried to stay very positive throughout my channel. I try to talk about films with as much positivity and in a positive light as I can, because I just feel like you kind of owe that much to the filmmakers. Like, they put a lot of work into these movies, you know, to get them to come to life so we can see them. So, like, you do deserve some sort of positivity, some respect. It's going to be hard for me to do that with this film. This film is horrible. It is terrible. I barely like a single thing that happens in this movie. This is one of the absolute worst films I have seen all year. Not because quality's bad, though the effects in here are horrible, but mainly because of the fact this is lifeless, this is heartless. This is another of Disney's cash grabs, it feels like. This never justifies its existence, never adds anything new, and I just kind of somehow manages to mess up the old as well. Like, I'm not a big fan of the original Pinocchio or anything. I'm nothing where I'm like dedicated to the original and it's the only true version, but I don't know, somehow this just fails at justifying its existence. It is extremely dark also, and I get the story of Pinocchio. I think is kind of a weird thing to begin with, but I would think someone like Robert Zemeckis would have the understanding to understand this is supposed to still, especially in this day and age, we should have better understanding of films, understand this should be something more magical, not something that's like Zack Snyder's Watchmen, only as a cartoon. It just, I don't like anything about this movie, honestly. It was just there. And the attempts at modernization were terrible. The casting is fine in here. Everyone is fine. Tom Hanks does a good performance. This is probably the best of anyone in here. I just don't really care much. Keegan-Michael Key has a role in here. He is utterly annoying. I don't like his character at all in this movie. Not because of, like, it's his fault. It's because the script is terrible for his character, and I'm not sure if his delivery is necessarily the best on his lines. Yeah, so this film, pretty much, it went right to Disney+, didn't get a theater release, doesn't surprise me, because Disney probably had the common sense to understand this wasn't going to do very well. And I'm not really sure yet, because I haven't checked, you know, like, the Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Metacritic, you know, stores, Facebook, but for me, this is bad. This is really bad. This is some of the worst Disney has to offer. This is soulless. This is just modern films issues rolled into one. There's nothing here. And just because you shoot it in a different way, with a different camera angle, doesn't make it different. It doesn't make it good. I really have nothing positive to say. I don't want to sit here and rant because I just have tons of negatives against this movie. The script is atrocious. The direction is very poor. The VFX are disgusting. The cinematography is putrid. And the very concept of this entire thing is revolting. The fact they even wanted to make it. I just don't like anything about this movie. The lighting is terrible. Like, on a basic fundamental scale, it's bad. But then going beyond that and into the actual script and other things that factor into it, they're bad. Like, I just don't see redeeming qualities in this. I don't see why anyone wants to, like, make this. I mean, it's not something I would recommend even for, like, it's not even a so bad it's good thing. It's just bad. And it commits the worst crime of all in child's film. It's too long and it's boring. And I don't even see how this would entertain a child. Like, I have no clue. I have little siblings, and I'm pretty sure if I sat them down in front of this, they're not going to like this movie. Like, it's just, it takes itself way too seriously also. This movie thinks it's something it's not. What a huge misfire I feel from Disney. I really hate to be bashing a film like this, but I just don't have anything good to say about it, and I have no reason that I can think of to be polite towards this. This is terrible. I didn't like it at all. And as far as I'm concerned, it's not worth anyone's time. It's not worth your money. It's not worth your watch. just go see something else. I'm just disappointed. Like, I had no expectations going in, and yet I still was unhappy. That should tell you how I feel about this movie. There's nothing I think that's worth it in here. There's not a lot of quality performances aside from, like I said, maybe the lead characters. They're like the top 3 or 4, and it's kind of generic too. So with that said, I don't recommend it at all. I'm gonna give Pinocchio a 2 out of 10. I know that ranking is really brutal that I just gave it, but I'm being honest here. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this one. It's not worth it. So thanks guys as always for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see y'all next time.